It's Denise, and I'd like to welcome you to my fall home tour. Come on inside. Now the first thing you see when you walk in is my cozy corner. And I started getting ready for fall by making my cozy corner in the entryway this year. So it's the first thing you see when you come in. You walk past my wreath on the door, and then you see my cozy corner. So let me bring you up for a closer look. And once you step inside, you can look down the hallway and see the kitchen, but we're going to go into the living room next. So here's the living room immediately to the left of the entryway. So let's see what I've got. On this side table, I just got a sweet little arrangement of sunflowers. And you see my funky bowl atop the lantern centerpiece that I created just for this room. And toward the back of the room in the corner, you see a simple chair that's always there, but this time I used it up with a pillow that has a pumpkin and a fall bird. And if you look to the right just a little bit, you can see my dining room. We'll go in there in just a minute. And in that corner, atop that shelf, is just a stacked kind of a cloth fabric pumpkin that says harvest time. And on that top shelf is just a little pick with some acorns and berries and just a cream colored pumpkin, and of course the leaves that I love so much. And then coming on down, you see in the same color scheme with fall a nice painting. I guess not a painting really, it's really chalk that my son did in high school, but you can see the greens and the golds and the reds that come along with fall. And then again, another one of those pumpkin picks to pick up that color. And then family pictures on this shelf as we go down. That particular picture there is from the movie Selma, and my daughter-in-law was an actor in that movie, so she sent me that. It's the ticket to the premiere. So she sent me her ticket as a keepsake. And we're an art family, so there's a chalk drawing of my youngest son. I think his high school art teacher did that, but we like to have it on the wall. And then here's some other things that, again, just complement the colors of the season. Jazz and that kind of thing. And then coming on around, we see that painting on the wall that my husband did of my daughter when she was in one of his brother's weddings. She was the flower girl. And then below that was one of her wedding pictures, her bridal portrait actually. And then just more family photos there on the table. Yes, that is my son with Bill Clinton. He was a governor at Boys State and got to go to D.C. for Boys Nation, and they get to meet the president when they do that. And then just other family pictures, me and the hubby, my grandmother. But now you can get a closer look at that little flower arrangement there. More paintings on the wall, self-portrait of my husband, and then family pictures, and that sweet little boulder I picked up in Wisconsin. I just love pottery and things like that. Another painting on the wall done by my husband. And then here you see my funky bowl with lantern centerpiece that I created for this room. More art on the wall, but that one's purchased. And then here's more fall color. Now let's keep moving around in the living room so you can see all that's in here. I've never really done a home tour before, so let me just show you this painting on the wall. And it's one of my oldest son that my husband did. And you guys have seen this sofa. And then over in this corner, I've got just a little basket of florals on the wall that's just always there, but I zhuzhed them up with some fall floral picks just to bring it into the season. Another painting on the wall. This was one that's purchased. Some little boys fishing. And on the table is just a little bowl I picked up at Pier 1 a couple years ago. And that bowl is just filled with scented pine cones, cinnamon scented pine cones, and a little pumpkin. Now let's go into the dining room. As we come into the dining room, the first thing immediately to the left is my buffet. And I got this piece from my grandmother. And I got this area decorated in the $0 decorating challenge, which was very nice to spend no money to get this buffet ready for the fall and Thanksgiving season. In the corner you can see the picture that I thrifted, and I was gifted that little maitre d' there with the wine bottle, and I just felt like that picture perfectly complemented that. Got a couple of wine bottles there on the side, and then there's a mug that we picked up at an art show, and then extra plates on top of that cake stand. And this wooden piece sits out here on the buffet all the time, but I took the top off and set that floral arrangement inside just to zhuzh it up a little bit for fall. And then here's a few dessert plates and bowls in case I need some additional ones. People can just help themselves from the top of the buffet. Behind that little gratitude box you see another art piece we picked up at an art auction. And then my gratitude box, my three-dimensional gratitude box, was one of the DIYs that I did. So each one of the DIYs that I did just helped get me ready for fall. And then that cup there to the right, I picked up at the art show. And behind that, let me show you. It's just a room diffuser, and it's just got a few picks in it that help the fragrance to wick into the room. And it's got a little peacock on it. And this is the long view of my dining room. This is the view you get from the living room. And you can see my table is already set for Thanksgiving. I did this fall tablescape or Thanksgiving tablescape in the Fall Tablescape Challenge with Kimberly Davis and Kenya's Decor Corner. In the corner, you can see the china cabinet. And the only thing I did to style that was just to put a few pumpkins on the top. And as I said, we always have lots of art in our homes. So there on the wall is a still life that my husband did years ago. And then over in this corner, more art. Here's a piece that he did from pottery for one of his classes. This is just something of mine. I always like Yul Brynner. This is from The King and I, so I ordered that plate. Picture of my great-great-grandmother and more sculpture that my husband did. And then a bowl that he created for me also from clay. There's a close-up of my funky bowl and lantern centerpiece for the dining room. And there's a close-up of one of the place settings. So now we'll move into the kitchen. So now we're in the kitchen. And you can see I just got that little pumpkin bowl and plate on top of the microwave. And then over in the corner is my beverage station. And just a hint of fall color there. And on this end of the counter, you see my pumpkin spice plaque. You had me at pumpkin spice. I just couldn't resist that. And then just a few things, flour, sugar, and grits in my mason jars. And again, just a hint of fall color here on the counter. And here's the back of my kitchen vignette. Let's see what the front looks like. And then here's my kitchen vignette. So over there in the corner is just a little pot of oregano that always lives there. Here's my kitchen table with my two-tiered tray. Let's get a better look at that. Another poppy painting. And then in the corner, I replaced that spring arrangement with this beautiful arrangement of sunflowers. And it's in a milk jug that says, "Give thanks with a grateful heart. Let there be joy, love, and laughter in this home in particular, in all homes in general," and just more pics and iconic elements to celebrate the season. And then a little plaque that just says, "Live well, laughed often, and love much." And then a little squirrel. My husband loves the squirrels, and he calls them his little buddies. And then up here on top, facing the kitchen, thankful, grateful, blessed. And it's a sentiment that I like to remember always. Now let's go into the family room. This is a room where we spend most of our time. Looking at it from the back, you can see paintings and masks and a few things on the wall. So I'll bring you up for a closer look so you can really see what's going on in there. As I said earlier, we are a family that loves art. So here on the wall, you see a picture done by my youngest son. He did this when he was in high school. And you see the oranges and the browns and the golds and the blacks that we tend to like in this family. Toward the end of the wall there, you see a large picture of myself at my retirement party. And then next to that is a mosaic, or rather a collage of pictures of my husband from his retirement party. And then on the bookshelves, you see lots of books and family photos and small figurines. There's an autumn wreath, one of the few decorations we have in this room. More books and pictures and art. And in this corner, again, more paintings. The one on the wall is of my husband's father, which my husband did years ago. And in this corner is the decorate my space that I did with Zane Redfern when I just kind of decorated this particular tabletop. And notice there's my little lantern that I did for the DIY project. I ended up swapping out the one light strands that I had and put in this LED candle. And then coming over to this side of the room, we see my fairy, and she's just sitting there as I clear out my fall garden. And she's sitting on an old Singer sewing machine. I just have it there just for the beauty of the wood cabinet. I just like it, so that's why it's there. And then here you see a bust of a cornet player. My husband loves music and he loves art, so this piece combines both. On this table you see more art. My husband created this little vignette years ago. And then on the bench you see two little frogs, a man and a woman, and the man's presenting flowers to the woman. My husband calls this piece the Invisible Man because the guy's hiding in the bottle. He's just not seen. An old bum sitting on the street. There's a picture of us at some event. And then here's the sofa in the family room where I spend a lot of time just curled up watching TV. And that throw there just has a lot of books and different things on it. It says library, and then it's got the names of a bunch of classics. And it's quite soft and cuddly because leather can tend to be kind of cool, so it keeps me nice and warm. There's my autumn tray that I did for one of the challenges. And this is the rug that's underneath the coffee table in the family room. You can see it's in black and golds and oranges, and there's some greens and browns in there. Perfectly complements the colors of fall, but everything in this room just all works together. And on the shelves back there, you just see books, books, and more books and family pictures. And then over there, you see my husband's easy chair. He spends a lot of time there watching TV. He made this piece in one of his art classes. Here's another piece he made. It's of a guy fishing. That bowl there is a bowl he made for me. This picture on the wall, one of my sons gave to him one year. And here's more artistic musical figurines. This one was a gift to my husband for his birthday from my daughter and her family. We bought this particular statue, I believe we were in New Orleans or Atlanta, I'm not sure which one, at an art fair. I'm not sure where that fish came from. That's a picture of Miles Davis, and he did that years ago. It's in oils. And then there on the wall, you see a very artistic fish, which my husband created, and we hang our keys on that. So we never lose keys because they're always right there. And that's our family room. And I may have forgot to mention that this piece here was my husband's mother's, and I am just really pleased that we're able to have this piece here in our home. You probably noticed there's not a lot of decorations in this room. Pretty much the only fall decorations in this room is the wreath on the wall and then the tray on the table. We live in this room. We work in this room. We use the tabletops and various surfaces. You can see back in the corner, my husband's got some kind of exercise bench back there. So I really don't put a lot of decorations in here. Other than the art and things like that, pretty much everything in here is functional. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this tour of my home. It's been nice just taking you around and showing you where and how we live. This house is not one of those real huge, fancy, modern houses that you see today, but it's certainly more space than what we need now for just the two of us. But it's comfortable, it is cozy, and it's ours. It's where we are and where we live at this point in our lives. So thank you so much for joining me on this fall home tour. I realize that I have not always done a lot of decorating for fall. Typically around Halloween, I put out a couple jack-o'-lanterns, and then at Thanksgiving, I put out a few turkeys and pumpkins. But I really dressed the house for Christmas. But this year, I really got into the theme of decorating a little bit more for fall. And I am glad I did, because it is so nice to just, as I move through the house on this lower level, to see spots of color here and there. So next I've got to get the porch done. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow, is getting my porch decorated, because I always decorate my porch for fall and for Christmas. So tomorrow is porch day. So please come back and visit me again and see my fall porch tour. And I guess that's it. I do have a powder room on this level, but I never decorate it, so I didn't bother to show you guys that. And the other thing is this: I don't do many videos in this room. First of all, because it is so difficult to light, and secondly, because my husband is always in here, and it tends to be most of the time more cluttered than I would like. And I try not to press him too much, by making him constantly pick up things when he's in here, because I figure he's got to have somewhere that he can sit and not have to feel like it's got to be too neat. We both have watched a couple videos of At Home with Nikki, and her home is amazing, and it looks like every room is always guest ready. But my husband is convinced that she's got her husband locked in the basement. So I thought, okay, I don't want him to feel like he's got to be locked in the basement. So I tend to just kind of let him be in this room. And then when I'm going to have company or something special, then I make him clear it out. And then once we have that particular event taken care of, then he's comfortable in here again. So I think that's it. That's the end of my tour, and I don't want to prolong this video, but again, I want to say thank you for joining me on my first fall home tour. And I want to thank Arlynn at Arlynn's Country Craft Cottage for giving me the impetus to get this home fall tour done. Not only get it done, but to get it done sooner than later. So I've made a couple funky bowls in a couple places. I've done a little bit more decorating because of the fall challenges that I participated in. So I am really looking forward to Christmas. But I am going to enjoy fall and Thanksgiving. And I might do a little more zhuzhing up as Thanksgiving approaches, but for the most part, I'm Thanksgiving ready. So now here's my question for you. What do you do to zhuzh up your house for fall? Tell me in the comment section below. And just so you know, I've raised 3 children. I've managed a home for more than 45 years, and I am a nurse by profession. So if you want to learn more about running a household, cooking and cleaning and laundry and health and beauty, subscribe. I would love to have you as a member of the TNT community. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying goodbye. I'll see you in the next video.